Good evening folks, and thank you for joining me this evening. You've obviously seen the first video introducing John's block, and I said we'd have some fun, and I'm going to start that off by doing the simplest food I can imagine. I'm going to make you a fish finger and baked bean pie. Okay, some of you may have heard of this, some of you may have not, depends where you've been. We have various size dishes depending on how many you're feeding. That would be for 2, that would be for 4, that would be for 6. You choose the dish size you're doing. Tonight I'm going to actually do a big one because we bulk cook food. So we put these over here out of the way. And it is the simplest of dish you can make. Put that one out of the way for the moment because I don't need it. I'm going to use 4 potatoes. I'm actually going to change my mind on that one and do 6. 6 potatoes, 2 tins of beans, 15 fish fingers. So, what do we need to do? We need to peel potatoes. You'll notice on the block I've got mayonnaise. Why would I put mayonnaise in a fish finger, baked bean and potato pie? Simple. Mayonnaise in mashed potato is awesome. How did I discover this? My daughter came home one day and said to me, "Dad, Nanny's mashed potato is better than yours." I said, "Why?" And she went on to tell me that Nanny puts mayonnaise in her mashed potato. I said, "Are you sure? Never heard of this before in my life." And she said, "Yes, speak to Nanny." So when Nanny came around the next time, I actually did speak to her. I said, "Penny says you put mayonnaise in your mash." She said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "Wow, it's very forward thinking." And my mother-in-law, bless her heart, generally speaking, is not that forward thinking. And I don't mean that as an insult, I love her to pieces. She is the best mother-in-law I could have ever wished for. She gives me no grief. We all tell the mother-in-law jokes, but honestly, she gives me no grief, and I'm very proud to have her as a mother-in-law. However, she very rarely surprises me. So when she said she put mayonnaise into mashed potato, I was stunned. Okay, so back into the vlog. We're going to salt the potatoes. 2 or 3 really good pinches of salt before you put cold water on. So that is the potatoes on. We're going to do this size dish. I have 2 tins of beans, 15 fish fingers. I have some mayonnaise, some seasoning. I'm just going to get some milk out, some butter, and I have my favourite bit of kitchen kit. This is a potato masher that came from a company called Pampered Chef. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this now while the potatoes are cooking, and we're going to dip our fingers into the dish and we're going to butter the inside of the dish. Why do you do this when you're using sloppy ingredients? You normally line a dish for pastry and stuff like that. The basic point here is butter also gives flavour, it gives cookability, and it just makes things a lot easier when it comes to scooping out. Just going to wash my hands, excuse me. Okay, I always have a sink of hot water beside me. I think if you're cooking, whether it's the simplest and funniest dish you've ever cooked, which this was when I first did it, it's worth having a hot sink of water, because you will need to wash your hands. and coronavirus exceptions, you know, it is what it is. So we're going to line the bottom of this dish with fish fingers, and you lay them out how you want. Okay, nobody's going to tell you off for laying out your fish fingers wrong. You know, I watch some cooking chefs and they get very bitter and twisted if you don't do the things their way. We're not like that here. We just want you to enjoy food, enjoy what you're doing, enjoy the prep time. This time here that I'm doing at the moment has to be the most enjoyable part of eating, because that's gone. If it's not, then why would you bother cooking if cooking isn't fun? Wash hands again. Well, as I say, I'm not doing this for the coronavirus, but when you get breadcrumbs on your fingers and all that sort of stuff, you need to keep it tidy. We recycle. We have a double bin. We have one which is a recyclable one, and we have the top one which is for non-recyclable. Okay, beans. Give them a bit of a shake, depending on your brand. You can use the top brand if you wish. I refuse to pay that amount of money for a tin of beans. I would rather buy a cheaper brand with less sugar and still enjoy. So, second tin. This is dead easy. There we go. 2 tins of beans. I'll level that out in just a minute. I'm just going to finish chopping up in the recycling bin, which needs emptying. Do that in a minute. Oops, I'll let you guys go. So, we're going to get a spoon, and we're basically going to smooth this over. Yeah. Okay, that is good to go. So, another slug of water. Potatoes are cooking. I'm going to come back to you guys once the potatoes are cooked, because at the moment, apart from mashing potatoes and putting them on top, there is absolutely nothing to do. So, to me, this is a good time to say, we'll see you in a little while. Okay, take care. Hi guys, how are we doing? So, potatoes have been cooking. You saw me finish getting the pie ready. So the next stage is to drain the spuds and get the mash just as we want it. By the way, you will hear things on MasterChef, the various chefs, they want the mash without lumps. I don't care if there's a few lumps, it's home cooking. If you want puree, become a purist. Sorry, but this is my view. Mashed potato is all about flavour. No, you don't want it too lumpy. If you do, you call it crushed potatoes. I do crushed new potatoes, you'll see me do that. But I'm not going to get too wound up about something if it's not perfect. This is about home cooking and you and me. Okay, so I turn that off. Grab my cloth. This is the man cloth we talked about in the intro. We're going to lift that over and we're going to drain the spuds. I do it the old fashioned way, I just tilt the lid a little bit, cloth both sides and drain. Tilt back, give a shake and repeat. And we have some very lovely looking mashed potatoes, or sorry, boiled potatoes waiting to be mashed. So, you'll notice I've got a cheese grater out since last time we were here, or before the break. I'm giving you some options regarding how we do that moving forward. So, what's the first thing you put in? always, 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 always butter in my view. For a spread, I use an olive oil spread. It's lightly salted. Yeah, probably 2-3 ounces, depending on what you want. I'm then going to add a little, just a very small amount of milk. I add that next because it's going to the bottom of the pan. It's a hot pan, and it will stop everything sticking. Right, mayonnaise. 1 spoon, 1.5, because I'm running out here. Okay, that's 1.5 spoons. You might think that's enough. I've actually got another jar in here, and I'm going to add a little bit more because we do like our mayonnaise. Okay, spoon in the wash. That's all done with. So, my magic masher, my no longer available masher, and basically all I'm doing here is I'm blending the milk, the mayo and the butter into the potato. It gets, oh, excuse me, that happens, yeah. The smell of the mayonnaise going into the potato is awesome. Okay, so this is looking good. I will bring it to you in a moment so you can have a look. One thing you'll notice about my vlogs, I don't have a cameraman. If we take off and you guys like what I do, I may have that later to make it a little bit more professional for you. But at the moment it's all about food and having fun. So you will note from that is not perfectly smooth mash. It's not about that. It's all about getting the flavour. That flavour from the butter, the milk and the mayonnaise will be awesome. So we're now going to line or top the pie. Bring the pie to me, put the mash over there. The thing with doing a pie is, yeah, don't try and be clever by putting a smash in the middle and just doing it. Go gently around the edge. Yeah, you will end up with a better result. You'll see me do this several times over my cooking. You can see the lumps. I don't care, because it's just got to cook again. Okay, this potato has got to cook again. There will be no hard bits. Some of the purists that watch this will cringe. Do you know what? I don't actually care. It's all about flavour. For me, I've said that loads of times and I will carry on saying it. It's about getting good wholesome food into your family. Or yourself if you're single. Yeah? By the way, we don't do dating sites. So if you think you're going to meet people on here, it's not what we're about. Okay, so that's a basic layer done. We're topping this off now. And you'll notice on the block I've also got some cheese, because you have an option at this point. You have an option to say, that's perfectly good as it is. If you want to be a little bit decadent and actually make it so that it is just that little bit more special, add cheese on top. You can make a topping to go on top of the potato. The potato does not have to be the final layer. Okay? Okay, this is looking good. Just going to scrape out the last few bits of potato. depending on how thick you like your potato, at the beginning of the video, you know, I said there are 4, I'll go 6. I could have actually got away with 4 on this. It just makes it a little bit more special. Okay. So we have options now. This is the chef's treat, by the way. You can't do that in restaurants because you're not home cooking. So I'm just going to run my thumb around the edge. Again, you can't do this in restaurants. We're ready to go. So, options now. You can make a pretty pattern. What I mean by that is you can take your fork around the edge and you can put lines on it, like so. Yeah, that's one way of finishing it, and that will bake for 40 minutes or about 180. Or you can make whatever pattern you want on top to do that. The idea of this, it gives it, it'll allow it to crisp. You'll get peaks and troughs. So good. So the other alternative, by the way, that mash with mayonnaise in is awesome. The other alternative is to add some cheese to the top of it. And that will just add another element to it. So we're going to do that. This is the best grater I've ever had. This is another Pampered Chef one, by the way, I think. Yep. It's microfilm metal, but it's, you just watch, it is just so easy to use, and it does it very finely, which makes the cheese go further. And actually, because it makes it go further, you get less cheese into your recipes. Now, whether you like that or not, from a fat point of view, it's a good thing. If you like more cheese, fine, use a bigger grater. That as a micro grater is awesome. You'll notice I very rarely weigh things. I didn't say, oh, we need 4 ounces of cheese. This will just sit on top and be brilliant. And if you're worried about this drying out, because the cheese has fat in it, but if you're worried about drying it out and you like greasy food, you can add some grease. That sounds a bizarre thing, but you can drizzle it with a little olive oil. Okay? Similar to what I do for cottage pies. That'll help it stop drying out. Turn the oven on to 180. And as soon as that's up to temperature, that will go in and cook. I'm going to leave that until we're ready, and then I'm going to come back to you and we'll cook and serve. Okay, thank you. Hi guys, cooking is almost done. I'm just about to take the Fishfinger black bean pie out. I know it makes a lot of you smile, but simple food like this actually works. It actually makes people chill because it's so easy. And life is very stressful. We live in a very modern world where we get pressure from work, pressure from our credit card companies, pressure from our utility companies when we can't pay the bills on time. We get pressure all the time. I know, I've been there not so long ago, so please bear with me and understand that I'm going to do some posh stuff as well, but today is all about the quickest, simplest, cheapest meal you can do. I'm going to give you the prices on this in a minute. So turn the oven off. Glass is steamed up because it's so chuffing hot. There we go. One fish finger baked bean pie topped with cheesy mash. Hopefully you can see, one, the bubbles, but two, the lines I put in the potatoes, even though the cheese was put on top, it's melted and it's gone into the lines and we've got those lovely little peaks. So that's the pie. So 2 tins of beans, 27 pence each, so that's 54 pence. Packet of fish fingers, you buy the brand you want. I bought an own brand from the supermarket and they, for 15 fish fingers, were £1.59. So as near as damn it, they were 10 and a half pence, 11 pence each. So 54p plus £1.59. Maths is not great here. £2 13 pence. 4 ounces of cheese. The whole block cost me about £5, and that was probably, call it £1 for the cheese. Expensive part of it, okay? It wasn't that much, but we'll call it £1. So £2, £3 13, plus the potatoes, which were £1.50 for a bag of about 12 potatoes, so half of that, 75p, £3, so just under £4 for that meal. That will serve 6 people. Okay, that's £1 a head. £1 a head for a decent meal. And this is what I'm trying to get across to people. You don't have to spend a fortune. And we're going to talk about, as I said on my previous message, we're going to talk about sell-by dates, we're going to talk about products, we're going to talk about whether you should buy the brand name, whether you should buy an own brand. We're going to talk about all that sort of stuff. I just want you to have a look at this. So I'm going to have this for my dinner very, very shortly. Okay, I cook, I eat. I don't, I'm not a person that will snob it up and say I'm going to cook shit and then do it. I eat what I cook. Okay, the smell, you can smell the fish fingers. As soon as you break the crust, the smell of the cheese goes and you get the smell of the fish fingers. Okay, so just look at that. You got the fish fingers there, you got the baked beans, you got the cheese on top, yeah, and you got the baked beans. And I'm going to put a twist of pepper on there, so I didn't season this because it's overproduced food anyway. But I love pepper myself. Yeah, that's good. Oven's off. Turn the hob off. I'm going to sit down and chill and eat this. What do you guys think about whether you want to follow me on my vlog? Cheesy mouth. Too hot to eat. That is really, really good and a very, very simple and quick meal. I need to have some water because that was extra hot. We will be back again next week and we will see you next time. Take care and we look forward to doing the next menu with you. Okay, bye bye.